Today's topic is Teshuvah, returning home to your heart, what was suggested by some writings by Rabbi Lawrence Kushner, who will be joining us in January for our 5th annual Kavanah retreat. He's an amazing scholar, writer, and rabbi, and has such a beautiful interpretation of Teshuvah that we wanted to share it with you. Today, we'll enjoy some beautiful music courtesy of Cantor. We'll do a mindfulness breathing exercise, have some thought-provoking poetry, and a short guided meditation to help us enjoy this day, to feel its significance, and to prepare us for the year ahead. We'll finish in plenty of time for the 4 o'clock services. So in order to prepare for our meditation, we'll do a quick breathing exercise to relax and let go of any constriction in our bodies. Sometimes we can feel emotional tension or mental tension physically, but sometimes we don't notice, and giving it an opportunity for release can be really helpful. I know for all of us, this has been an incredibly tough year. Many of us, myself included, really hoped that COVID would be in our rearview mirror by now, and instead we are in this quasi-hybrid of a little lockdown and a little open, trying to navigate this new space. Our politics remain fragmented and difficult. To compound that, the local tragedy of the collapse of the Champlain Towers this summer was another real strike for many of us, and we have just celebrated the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I know I feel like I've been wandering in the wilderness a lot this year, and I have been paralyzed on a narrow bridge. And today we want to look at how we can recover from tragedy, from difficulty, from hard times. So in order to get a start on this, let's sit up tall, dignified, yet relaxed, and take 3 deep breaths together. Now I'm going to teach you a short breathing practice that's very helpful for releasing tension. And what we'll do is I'll ask you, as I count in 6 counts slowly, to tense every part of your body that you possibly can. If you'd like to, you can hold your breath, but when I count 7, give a huge exhale. In yoga, we might call it lion's breath because you just let it all out. We'll do 3 sessions of that. And anyone, if you begin to feel faint or unwell, please just breathe naturally and don't worry about this, okay? It's rare, but it can happen. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 rounds. And as I count to 6, you're going to tense every muscle you can in your body. And on 7, huge exhale and just let it all out. Ready? Inhale, 1, tense, 2, tense, 3, 4, 5, hold, 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 release. Breathe normally. Ready for the next round? Begin inhaling and tense. 1, 2, 3. Feel as hard as you can. 5, 6. Hold, hold, hold. 7. Let it out. As we breathe for a minute to recover, I'll just point out that the cycle is a little bit like Shabbat. We have 6 days of tension, and on the 7th breath, we rest. Okay, this is the last round. Inhale, tense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, tense, hold. 7, release. And I really appreciate seeing some of your faces. I can tell you're letting everything out. So now that we've released some physical tension, I'm going to ask you to think about how you release your emotional tension. We have a question for you today, and we'll ask you to think about this and formulate a response as Cantor plays some beautiful music for us to enjoy. And when you're ready, put your answer in the chat, and I will share them with the group. Our question is, when you are lost and disconnected, how do you find teshuvah? How do you return home to your heart, your best self, your source? And I'll read it one more time. And think about this, and as you're ready, put the answer in the chat, which will be shared with others. When you are lost and disconnected, how do you find teshuvah to return home to your heart, your best self, and your source? And Cantor will give us some beautiful music to give us some time to process and to think.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well, healthy, and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be peaceful and calm. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well, healthy, and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be peaceful and calm. Ya la la la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
Thank you, Cantor. We have such wonderful responses. Davis says Qigong practice. Oliva has a beautiful voice, says singing Jewish prayers. I focus on my breath and basic things for which I am grateful, which I think was from my husband. Michael, pray, breathe, and immerse in silence and nature. Oh, Scott Rogers, allow. Patty Fito, physically place my palm on my heart. Lorraine, close my eyes and take a deep breath and chant the Shema in my mind. Adam, deep breathing and a recognition that this too shall pass. Laura, I remind myself of all that I'm grateful for, my extraordinary family, my health, the arts. David, Peloton, you go. Sandra, walk on the beach. Janie, hug those closest to me a little longer. Gail says, I use prayer and look at pictures. Norris, in nature and the arts. Raquel likes to go to the beach and be serene with nature, waves coming in and out. The rhythm centers her. David, a devoted yogi, does yoga, as does Marilyn, and playing the piano. Diane Katzen, another musician, goes to music. Allison pets a bunny or goes for a bike ride. Impossible to ignore delight with either. Jogging, gratitude, sleep. getting back to nature. I have a chat with myself and turn myself in the right direction. I breathe, I reconnect, singing in the shower. Thank you all, such good ideas, such good suggestions. It really helps to share where we are on our spiritual journey. The rest of us can learn so much from each other. And Janie's going to read a beautiful poem about love, bringing forgiveness and compassion, and the idea that self-acceptance promotes change teshuva, and returning home.
The poem is called When I Loved Myself Enough, written by Kim and Allison McMillan. As I began to love myself, I found that anguish and emotional suffering are only warning signs that I was living against my own truth. Today, I know this is authenticity. As I began to love myself, I understood how much it can offend somebody if I try to force my desires on this person, even though I knew the time was not right and the person was not ready for it. And even though this person was me. Today, I call this respect. As I begin to love myself, I stop craving for a different life. And I could see that everything that surrounded me was inviting me to grow. Today, I call this maturity. As I began to love myself, I understood that at any circumstance, I am in the right place at the right time, and everything happens at the exactly right moment, so I could be calm. Today, I call this self-confidence. As I began to love myself, I quit stealing my own time, and I stopped designing huge projects for the future. Today, I only do what brings me joy and happiness, things I love to do and that make my heart cheer. And I do them in my own way and in my own rhythm. Today, I call this simplicity. As I began to love myself, I freed myself of anything that is no good for my health, food, people, things, situations, and everything that drew me down and away from myself. At first, I called this attitude a healthy egoism. Today, I know it is love of oneself. As I began to love myself, I quit trying to always be right. And ever since I was wrong less of the time, today I discovered that this is modesty. As I began to love myself, I refused to go on living in the past and worrying about the future. Now, I only live for the moment where everything is happening. Today I live each day, day by day, and I call it fulfillment. As I began to love myself, I recognized that my mind can disturb me and it can make me sick. But as I connected it to my heart, my mind became a valuable ally. Today, I call this connection wisdom of the heart. We no longer need to fear arguments, confrontations, or any kind of problems with ourselves or others. Even stars collide, and out of their crashing, new worlds are born. Today I know this is life.
Thank you, Janie. Part of teshuva, part of coming home, can be cultivating an inner sense of calm, an inner sense of peace. I like to think about it as an internal altar, a personal mishkan, a place to return to. And this is something that we try to do with our meditation, with the things that bring us back to ourselves, back to the source, back to feeling more at one with the world. Cantor has a lovely piece to teach us, complete with American Sign Language hand gestures, called This Is Home.
Sorry about that. I was muted. This is a piece called This Is Home, reminding us for the need to come back home to our own selves. So I'll ask you to try to sing along as I teach it to you and try the signs with me. It goes like this. This is home where I belong. In this breath, in this heart, this is home where I belong. In this voice, in this song. If you're musical, you can add some harmony. This is home where I belong, etc. Okay, now, so let's try again. This is home where I belong. In this breath, in this heart, this is home where I belong. With this voice, with this song, one last time, this is home where I belong. In this breath, in this heart, this is home where I belong. With this voice, in this song.
Thank you, Cantor. Another beautiful form of coming home. So now that we've softened our hearts, we've released our tension, we've thought about Teshuvah and shared with each other in some different ways. Let's get ready for our meditation. Take a deep breath, lower or close your eyes, whatever you feel comfortable with. This will be a relatively short guided meditation. We'll finish in plenty of time for the 4 o'clock service, no worries. And it's designed so everybody can participate and enjoy. If you're a beginner, don't worry. If at any point you feel uncomfortable or fidgety, feel free to open your eyes, to shift in your seat, but notice the sense of discomfort and decide how you want to respond. There's no wrong way to meditate. Sitting quietly, taking time for yourself is always good, is always right. So as we sit quietly, you may feel your breath calm and lengthen. It's a guided meditation, so I'll be talking a bit. It's good to have a focus, but don't feel that this is a lecture or you need to understand everything that's said. Just being able to have a point of reference. Perhaps it's your breath, perhaps it's my voice. And when you notice your attention straying, and your attention will stray, everyone does, that moment of noticing is the magic that allows you to make the choice of what to do next. And I'll suggest that you may want to direct your attention back to my voice or back to your breath. And if either you start to feel tired or your nervous system goes into overdrive and you have an itch or feel fidgety, it's absolutely part of the body's normal response to being asked to calm down. I like to take a second to settle your body. to ask you to be in erect yet dignified posture, sitting comfortably, feeling gravity pull you deep into your seat. As Joseph Goldstein says, when you sit, really sit. You may also be aware as you exhale of your shoulders dropping, your neck lengthening, your heart opening. In thinking about Teshuvah as returning to your heart, to your source, to your best self, we translate Teshuvah as repentance. The root shuv means to turn. Other words having to do with turn and returning and coming back are return, turnover, overturn, turn around, turn about. And the feeling of coming home to your heart, perhaps a restart, a reboot, a recover. When we spoke about this concept in our weekly meditation group, one participant, a former dancer, compared it to the ballet turn she learned as a child. You start at one point, you find yourself going around, but the object is to come back to your initial point. We know that point exists. We just need to find it. Similarly, we can see our Jewish year as a circle, a cycle, bringing us back to our yearly appointment with Teshuvah on Yom Kippur. Part of the genius of our tradition is our practice of communal Teshuvah. Our community can catch us when we fall, can give us strength, can provide a sense of comfort, both in Teshuvah and in meditation. And in our community, we create yet another circle. In our lives, difficulty can deplete or strengthen a person, a community, a country. And our question is, how do we respond to those challenges? In his absolutely amazing book, This is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared, Rabbi Alan Liu tells us Teshuvah can and often arises from the most hopeless events. Sometimes we need to experience a life-changing event to be ready to do the hard, exhausting, terrifying work of changing. Rabbi Liu teaches us the nature of our pain points us in the nature of the transformation we need to make. We often need suffering to change, be it anger, boredom, fear, guilt, impatience, grief, disappointment, dejection, anxiety, or despair. When those events occur in our life, we need to feel them, we need to experience them, and we can also choose how to respond. Do we use them as a catalyst for our teshuvah? Rabbi Lawrence Kushner, who will be our visiting scholar for our Kavanah retreat in January, says teshuvah is necessary for our existence. In his wonderful book, The Book of Words, Talking Spiritual Life, Living Spiritual Talk, he says the world endures because of the ever-present yearning and gesture of returning home to our source. Returning home is the hardest thing in the world, for truly to return home would mean to bring the Messiah. Returning home is also the easiest thing to do, for it only has to occur to you to return home, and you have already begun. Through apology, repair, and attempting to heal damage done, we effectively rewrite the past. What was once some thoughtless or even wicked act, when set within the present context of meaning, becomes the commencement of a greater healing. During the 10 days of awe between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, or the 10 days of Teshuvah, as Rabbi Lou calls them. We have a communal chance to review, reflect, repair, and decide how to proceed. As one of the participants in the meditation group pointed out, 10 is a magical number. We have the 10 days of awe, the 10 commandments, and 10 people in a minyan. As we think of practices that help us change to return that we shared earlier, we can also look at traits that help us change. Our curiosity, our hitlandut, our compassion, our rachamim, our creativity, our loving kindness, chesed. Knowing change is a daily practice and decision, a continuing commitment, like hearing the shofar blown every day during the month of Elul, reminding us that we can change. And finally, Rav Kook, the chief rabbi of Palestine under the British, who died in 1935, said returning home is in essence an effort to return to one's original status, to the source of life and higher being in their fullness, without limitation and diminution. In their highest spiritual character, as illuminated by the simple, radiant, divine light. It is only through the great truth of returning to oneself that the person, the people, the world, and all the worlds, the whole of existence, will return to their creator to be illumined by the light of life. As you're ready, take a deep breath, raise, open your eyes, enjoy seeing each other's beautiful faces. We have loved having you with us today, and we would so enjoy seeing you at some of our other programs this year. If you liked this taste of meditation and want to try a little more, there'll be a 4-session class begun the week of October 12 on either Tuesdays at 7 or Fridays at noon, 30-minute sessions. It's experiential, interactive, fun, and it's to get you over any fears you've got about meditation and show you how it can help you greet your life with more presence and joy. We would love to have you come join us for the Kavanah retreat, God willing, in person, January 21 and 22. Rabbi Lawrence Kushner, who spoke so beautifully about Teshuvah, I just mouthed his words, will be with us. We'll have a special session in mindful listening, believing that listening is the beginning of true dialogue, true interchange, a way to be able to provide compassion and combat hate. That will be January 25, co-taught by Scott Rogers, the originator of the Mindfulness in the Law program at University of Miami, and Paul Singerman, who happens to be my husband, is an attorney and is currently the attorney to the receiver for the Champlain Towers tragedy. And finally, April 23, we'll have a special Minion service featuring Alana Arian, who will be reconnecting us to our hearts through music. It will be so beautiful. We hope you can come. We'll have other programming as well, but that's what we have said so far for this year. I'd like to thank you so much all for coming and being with us, God willing, next year at Temple Beth Shalom. And thank you so much to my wonderful Kabbalah Council members. I see you, and I read your beautiful words. To Craig Burko for handling all things technical. And Cantor will close us out by singing so we can sing our way to the conclusion of our Yom Kippur.
I would just like to make one shameless plug in addition to what Marte said about Alana, who's actually leading High Holy Day services now at the 92nd Street Y online. She's been here before, and she was featured in that America the Beautiful Oseh Shalom video that you may have seen this morning. So you won't want to miss her as well in April, as well as Rabbi Kushner in January. Return again, return to the land of our souls. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn and reborn. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn and return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Thank you, Cantor.